So if you're actually going to use data and AI intelligently, what you want to do is connect all your data across the commercial agenda so that you're looking at things like marketing, RGM, supply chain, R&D. You want to connect all those decisions because everything's a variable that can be optimized. And the more you understand about how all those things relate, price, promotion, how you're distributing your product, the more you can make intelligent decisions. So when you really think about it, all of those silos just stand in the way and create friction between you and the future. So that's why I think you're hearing that from a lot of those executives, is it starts to really challenge. It's almost like an existential question, like what should the org chart really look like? Because you really want to make, again, those fluid decisions between all of the different choices you have as an organization that can drive value creation.
Like, there are things that are going to stay the same, and the more we try to say everything is changing, like the hyperbolic, like you're wrong. Just by definition, you're wrong.
Because I think I've been wondering if there's going to be this divide between the programming era and the algorithm era, and the people will only prefer one or the other. I don't know if that makes sense.
Isn't the algorithm just programming? This is why the algorithm, in my opinion, should have never been protected by Section 230, right? Like the algorithm was programming. It was making a decision of what people were supposed to see. And I think the desire for people to see things in common, like we want shared experiences and shared stories. And there was just I don't know where I read it, but there was just a story that so few people are seeing the same things that we can't talk about shows anymore.
Right.
You see the Suits phenomenon. You see, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Baby Reindeer.
Baby Reindeer over a weekend. It is possible to break through. It's just hard to predict those, that's why upfronts are more difficult, because you don't know what things are going to break through during the year.
Right.
And it makes it harder to capture those moments for brands.
I mean, I think specifically when we think about the video opportunities, we're thinking about how do we leverage video across the patient journey. And I think it can be used in many different places. So like we would use YouTube for, True Action with at different points in the funnel than we would YouTube Select. And it also depends on what brand we're supporting. So if it's a broad-reaching brand, we do more premium stuff. If it's a more niche brand with a, focused patient population, we're going to do things that are more targeted. And then we would leverage programmatic for that.
Right.
So how we buy depends on really what the objective is. And it's not a universal approach anymore.
Right.
I think that's the other part where the sort of screens everywhere situation is changing, and maybe we as marketers aren't necessarily as fluid, but if you watch with a child, for example, they're watching YouTube on a big screen in your living room and on their phone and everywhere else. So I do think as we progress, as their strategic frameworks to internally progress, that will collapse. It will be, sort of, we've alluded to the fact of like shoppable content and things like that. I think these are the things that will continue. Like, how can I, at the moment of whatever I'm seeing and I'm inspired by, continue to have either ad products or opportunities to click through, to get more information, to do the thing that thing is trying to get me to do.
And I think that the challenge that a lot of folks have is oftentimes TV and YouTube Shorts are funded from different buckets of money.
Right.
YouTube is very fragmented. So how do you sort of bring everything together in what could be a really, really powerful part of any plan?
I feel like we still have not tapped into the full potential. YouTube is part of a massive Google platform. Right? We have yet to see what it's capable of when it stitches together the consumer experience across display, across video, across search, like all the data points, the other complementary data sets, clean rooms, right? The cloud, commerce. Like we've yet to stitch these things together and understand what a true audience experience and journey looks like.